not just giving up on Facebook. I'm giving up on women. It's pointless. These women out here are insane.
Robert, the key to happiness is to eliminate all black women from your life. I mean, look at me. No black women in my life. Look how happy I am. I'm happy as a nigga with a new gun.
Now, Ruckus, that is preposterous.
Oh, preposterous. Preposterous, really. Answer me a question. Is you happy?
Sure am.
Uh-huh. See? No black women in his life neither. Nigga free, and that's how he need to be.
Just because I'm married to a white woman doesn't mean there's a single thing wrong with black women.
True, but you did marry a white woman.
You have to find the woman who makes you happy, Robert.
Well, black women don't want to be happy. They squeeze out about 7 or 8 of them little nappy-headed chillin' by the time they 21. It's all downhill from there. Look at that. Oh, that woman's body over there, that's a temple. A black woman's body is a temple of doom. When was the last time you saw a black woman jogging, Robert? Ask yourself that question. And I ain't talking about them super steroided she-males in the Olympics that tuck their testicles up either.
Well, come to think of it.
Uh-huh, that's what I thought. You ain't never seen it, 'cause black women don't jog. That way they don't sweat out all them industrial strength toxic Avenger chemicals they use to straighten out their hair.
Sarah loves to jog.
I understand I'm short. I get that. I am pretty short, and I'm shorter, but it's just you're short too. So.
And how tall are you?
I'm like 4'11".
Oh my God. Okay, and how tall are you again, Eddie?
5'9".
5'9".
Yeah.
I know, but you see, like.
See what?
You can look over your head.
Yeah, but I can't look
you wanna,
up.
tippy toe.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eddie.
Hey, yo, what's happening, black man? What's happening? Now, I woke up this morning, right? And I saw a video clip on Instagram of a YouTuber. I'm sorry. I said of a YouTuber. I saw a video clip this morning of a young black man on a university campus, right? And he's interviewing multiple black women, right? Asking them, what's the minimum height that you would date? Mind you, he's asking Keisha, who's 4'11", asking Keisha, who's 5'1", 5'2", asking Keisha, who's 5'5", Keisha, who's 5'9". And I sit down and I think to myself, right? Well, first of all, after I watched that video on Instagram, I got on my computer. And I keep all my videos laid out on my computer screen. So it's the first thing I see when I open up my computer. And the way how I put my videos together, like when I put video 1 and 2 and 3 together, it's laid out like that on my screen because sometimes, well, not even sometimes, black men, I would say 80% of the times I make a video clip, all I have to do is go through my gallery. And it's crazy how, when you're self-aware, hold on. First of all, there is a reason why I promote semen retention because it puts you at a higher level of awareness. For all you dudes, man, you goon too much. You're watching the hub every day. All you do is chase behind black pussy. I know you're not thinking properly because you're draining yourself every day. Pause. But let's keep it a buck, man. When you're in that animalistic state, your brain is not functioning properly. You need testosterone in your body. And some of you dudes, you can't even go 2 days without thinking about how can you find a way to release. A lot of black men, you put a lot of energy in finding ways to release yourself instead of finding ways to educate yourself. A lot of black men, you hate to learn and you hate to listen, just like Keisha. And I make my videos a certain way so black men, you can listen, right? I'm trying to help your auditorial skills, right? My videos are designed for you to put the phone down, let the computer screen run, right? Without jumping from app to app, website to website. And you sit down and listen. A lot of black men, you have selective hearing and you develop that from Keisha, right? Now, you saw in the first clip Keisha, who is 4'11", black men, we have all been beguiled, right? Keisha is 4'11", and listen, you can put a cup on that ass. You can eat a plate of food on top of that ass. You can roll up a blunt on top of that ass. That ass is fat. If I crop the video out properly, you can see her whole body. But if not, again, I'm describing her. That same Keisha, keep it a buck, black men. You dudes would go crazy. Short and thick like that. And again, you know, the first thing I caught on to was that voice. I remember hearing that tone black women speaking with back in the day. And I'm saying back in the day like I'm old, but because I've gone so long without trying to make real attempts at Keisha's, you know, it draws back so many memories, right? See, the whole height thing is something they continue to perpetuate. When you look at facts, when you look at the history just 100 years ago, it wasn't that many tall men. So you had to pick. And like I said, black men, because they're still holding on to the plantation, they're still holding on to that trauma. They won't let go, black men. So again, they feel like they need to breed you the same way. You're not going to let Tyrone play while I pay. You're not going to let Tyrone fuck while I provide the bucks. You're not going to let Tyrone skate on his responsibility and I have to pick up the slack. We're not doing that, black men. The title of this video will be called For Black Men Under 6 Feet. Let me tell you something, black men. A lot of us, and listen, at one point, me included, black men, I look at so many black men walk around in a full-on state of mind, right? You walk with your head down, you're counting the steps, you're counting the cracks in the sidewalk. And I'm trying to tell you, black men, you don't have to accept that. Mind you, Keisha said how she's 4'11", big old booty, Cherokee D ass booty, right? The black man said he was 5'9". He can look on top of her head. He can give her a noogie if he wanted to. She said, you see what? No, he's telling the truth. You see what? Talking about how she wants to look up and tippy toe and look up at a man. Now, Keisha's associate height with protection. When have you ever seen these quote unquote tall men really protect Keisha? Think about this. When have you ever seen these tall men ever protect Keisha in your life, black men? Because she wants to feel a certain way. See, when I make this content, I don't tell black men worry about making Keisha feel some kind of way. I don't even tell you guys worry about making Kate feel some kind of way. I don't tell you guys make Amanda feel some kind of way. I don't tell you guys make Caitlyn feel some kind of way, right? Or Ling Ling. Who I described was Maria, Spanish John, White John, Asian John, right? I don't tell you guys make them feel some kind of way. Keisha feels like you need to feel some kind of way. And I played that second video to show you guys proof. Even though black women talk about how they want these tall men, how they're hyper fixated on these tall men. But again, you get pregnant by Glocktavius. And do I know if that guy is Glocktavius to the core as far as committing the crimes? I don't know. But look at his appearance. Dreadlocks and tattoos. First of all, let me mention this. Keishas don't have a strong understanding of genetics, right? You have the females who are 4'11", 5'1", 5'2", 5 foot flat, 5'3", and they talk about how they want to date men 6'2" and above. Huh? See, like I said, Keisha is still trying to breed black men stronger body, weak of mind. The same way how the experienced slave plantation owner was trying to breed black men or breed black people in general. If you guys know where the term motherfucker comes from, look it up. And if you can't look it up, if you can't find the proper definition, let me explain it to you. The slave master would put a bag over that 6'5", 250-pound black man, right? Put a bag over his mother's head and force him to fornicate, black men. Thinking that, listen, I can create more strong of body, weak of mind black men. We can create more 6'5", 250-pound black men. Not realizing that's inbreeding, which also is the direct result of blonde hair and blue eyes. But if that same kid comes out from the 6'5" black man, right? And that kid is definitely going to have some psychological problems, a very big drop in IQ. And you let that same black man procreate with a large percentage of black women, right? Mind you, no bag over the head is needed at this point. So now the man is psychologically dumb. But Keisha is thinking, well, if I'm smart and I get with this tall and strong black man, right? Oh, that made me think about something. Hold on, I'm gonna get to it. If I breed with this strong and tall black man, we can create more kids like him, or at least more black men like him. So he'll get my intelligence and he'll get his father's size. That's not how genetics work, black men. If the mom is 4'11" and you're 6'2", strong of body, weak of mind, there's a 50% chance if you have a son, yeah, your son won't be 4'11", but he's going to be like 5'5". He's going to be like 5'9". He's going to be like 5'6", 5'8". He won't be 6'2", just like you. But those kind of Keishas, and again, black men. See, a lot of you guys, black men, you find yourself in a dilemma because, again, you have the short Keisha who is legit throwing herself. I always talk about how I've seen it from both ends of the spectrum. Listen, I'm going to keep it a buck. There's been times where I've hung around Keisha, right? Tall Keisha with a big booty, short Keisha with a big booty, slim thick Keisha, petite Keisha, dark skin Keisha, light skin Keisha, brown skin Keisha, natural Keisha, wig wearing Keisha. Listen, black men, call me whatever you want to. I've gone through a lot of females' phones. I've gone in their gallery. I've seen stuff. I've gone through text messages in the iMessage app. I've seen stuff. I've gone through Instagram DMs. I've seen stuff. I've gone through Snapchat messages. I've seen stuff, black man. I really can't even talk about everything I've seen. I'm telling you, black man. I'm telling you, bro. Every chance or every time I had the opportunity to go through a Keisha phone, I did it with no remorse. Because why? I want answers. Right? I want answers. See, a lot of black men, we've been trained to treat pussy like it's something that's ever sent. And you operate from a scarcity mindset because so many older black men, and again, amongst your peer group, we all have that scarcity mindset. Oh, don't turn down no box. Don't turn down no trim. Because why? Pussy is heaven sent. We treat it like it's something that's temporary, even though they play those games. Like I said, there was the story I was about to tell you guys. Hold on. I met a Nigerian chick, right? This is about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I met a Nigerian Keisha, and she told me how she met this black dude, right? How the only way she could describe him: big, tall, and dumb. Big, tall, and dumb. There's a reason why I always talk about strong of body, weak of mind. There's a reason why I talk about Tyrone, Jay Fizzle, Kentrell Morris. I talk about this stuff because Keisha continues to perpetuate this stereotype, those same characteristics, because that's what they can identify black men as. That's what they look for. And like I said, for the black man who is under 6 feet tall, you find yourself in a dilemma because, again, when you're not over 6 feet tall, when you're not 250 pounds, you have to compensate, right? So you get the tattoos. The shorter you are, the more tattoos you need. The shorter you are, the longer your dreadlocks need to be, right? When you see guys with that archetype, yes, you see guys who are quote unquote tall, big guys with the dreadlocks and the tattoos, but he doesn't have to overcompensate as much with it compared to the guy who is shorter. And we all know how, yeah, Keisha may want these tall beast of a man, Tarzan swinging, King Kong beating on your chest, ape type brothers, but she might get cracked by him. Maybe she might get pregnant by him. But a lot of times you see Keisha with the same guy who you saw in that second video clip. See, this is why I promote semen retention. Because black men, what you don't realize is you're not making choices out your own volition. See, because we've been trained and socialized in a way to treat pussy like it's something that's heaven sent, and again, you're operating from a scarcity mindset. You wonder why all these options that you get are so bad because they've rigged the game that way. You're wondering why you can only get big shit. You're wondering why you can only get single moms. You're wondering why every female, yeah, she may treat you nice, but she's unattractive. And you don't want that because why? You know you're better than that, black men. You know you're better than that. See, when it comes to guys being under 6 feet, again, Keisha may not want you to have an option, right? And I'm not saying you can't get any options being under 6 feet. I'm just saying that the game is rigged and you have to overcompensate for the lack of height. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault. But I've noticed black men who are under 6 feet tall, hold on. It made me, oh my goodness, it made me think about something. I know a Latina, right? Half black, half Mexican. And I'm telling you, bro, I'm telling you. I remember she was posting on her story how her friends were teasing her because she was with a quote unquote short man. Mind you, in the flesh, I've seen this Keisha in person. She's about 5'4", 5'5". The guy she was with, not 6 feet tall, but in that like 5'8" to 5'10" range. And she put on her story how her friends were teasing her about being with a short man. So black men, like I said, you're up against an army. You're up against a culture. You're up against that plantation breeding farm. There's no way around it. I mean, you can go and date non-Keishas, right? And yes, that is the way around it. But it seems like even the Keisha that might be mixed with, 50% black, she's still gonna catch hell, black man. I'm telling you right now, the average Latina, she's not meeting these Hispanic men 6'5". She's not. Ling Ling isn't meeting these guys 6'5". I'm not saying any woman wouldn't want a tall man, but they hyper fixate on it. And again, that only aspect. just that one aspect, black man. I think I told you guys how I made a Hinge profile. I think we all know how Hinge works, where you can select your height. Actually, you have to put your height on your Hinge profile. Black man, I lied just so I can run a social experiment because I've made multiple Hinge accounts before. And I did that just to run a social experiment, black man. I'm talking about in my bathroom, right? I put a small step stool in the bathroom, not high enough to where you can see and it's obvious, but just so I can add in about 2 inches, right? And I put in my bio how I was 6'1". Black men, the amount of likes, the quality of females who were liking my profile. I said, wow. Could this be an American thing? Could it be a worldwide thing? Could it be global, black men? I don't believe it's the end all be all just because you're under 6 feet. And again, granted, if you're 5'1", yes, it's going to be tough. If you're 5'3", yes, it's going to be tough. If you're 5'5", yes, it's going to be tough. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it and make it seem like, oh man, you can go and get you a bad joint. No, the shorter you are, we're in a different time right now, right? It's almost like, let's keep it on Keisha, right? Keisha is trying to make it seem like you have to be the ultimate backup plan if you're under 5 feet tall. And what I find so funny is, right, I actually know Keishas who are knocked up, single mom, or at the time, single moms, right? Now, no longer a single mom. Now they're married. And I think to myself, well, listen, you've chased these tall men your whole life. But now when you're washed up, you go and get with the short man. No, 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 no. I've heard so many black women talk about how they want their son, their nephew, their grandson, whoever, right? I hope he's tall. I hope he's tall. I hope he's tall. See, they go after tall men hoping they can create a tall kid. That's not how genetics work, right? And again, it's Keisha who's 4'11". Like I said, in that first clip, Keisha with that, listen, black man, if you ever watch any Cherokee D ass video back in the day, that's exactly how she was built. Matter of fact, oh, it just popped in my head, right? Shout out to AC. I'm telling you, that man is a GOAT, bro. His videos always hit home. He made the video of the Keisha talking about how, the quote unquote educated lame. I hate that term. God. She talked about how the educated lame want us to smash the big booty Keisha too, right? And AC made a great point saying how, listen, if you weren't getting the box on a regular basis, how Glocktavius was, because why? They're throwing themselves at him. That's why I talk about 25%. It's somehow Keisha's talk about being picky. They talk about being choosy, right? But you still manage to run up a high body count. All of them. Because they're all sharing the same men. So even Keisha's know. Why do you think when Keisha posts her boyfriend or the guy she's dealing with online on Instagram, they post only their arm, or they post their shoulder, or they post the back of their head, right? Because she already knows I got lucky enough to get the man that everybody wants. And guess what? If I have to share this man, I will. It's funny how they are okay with polygamy when it's them in that position, right? When they can share Glocktavius, and not even short Glocktavius. I'm talking about tall Glocktavius. They don't mind sharing that man. But if you black men who are under 6 feet, if you want 2 girlfriends, if you want 2 wives, if you want to be in a polygamous relationship, God, they feel like you don't deserve that. No, no, that's not for you. That's not for you. In their minds, It's an affront. They look at that as an insult, black men, because they're too insular, right? Like Keisha has a one-track mind. She doesn't know how to accept the fact that, listen, we're gonna play the game the same way you play it. And again, it's not your fault. It's not your fault, black men. But I'm telling you guys, you can play the game the way Keisha is playing it. Just because Keisha doesn't want you to feel like you don't deserve to have an option, and the only options you do deserve to have are the ones that they relegate to you. And they relegate most men, not just black men under 6 feet. There's some guys in the 6 foot range, because I made the video clip about the one black dude from the Pop the Balloon challenge, right? He was over 6 feet, clearly, clear as day. Probably like 6'3", 6'4". And Keisha's felt like, oh, listen, he's not thug enough. And most of the, not even most, all the females on that lineup was not his type. I'm telling you, black men. So they already put 75% of men to the bottom. And again, that's why you wonder why do I have to accept a 3? Why do I have to accept a 4? Right? I personally think for brothers under 6 feet, you guys, and I say you guys like I'm not included, but I've already done it. And that's why I can make this content. You guys need semen retention. That's the only way you can break away from Keisha. Like I said, AC talked about it in that one clip, but the female said how the educated lame, he wanted that same big booty Keisha too. He's just mad that he's just mad that she wasn't picking him. See, here's the difference. Glocktavius, you've made him accustomed to getting sex with no effort, right? So, of course, he looks at you as a layup. Even if you are the same big booty joint that the educated lame who you call, right? He wants you too. But granted, he wants you in the context of a relationship. I've told a story about how I had big booty Keisha friends. And I thought to myself, listen, if I have the chance, I'm going to lock her down. Glocktavius, Tyrone, Jay Fizzle, Kentro Morris. Listen, for him, that's just another body for him. All he's thinking about is I'm going from 41 to 42. That's all he's thinking about. You as the quote unquote, I hate the term, because every other man from every other group, and I've talked to these men, white men, Asian men, Latino men, they're expected to go to university and get educated to have the adequate ability to provide, right? He doesn't have to be overworked and underpaid, physically break his back and work long hours just to still be poor. You as the black man, when you get an education, oh, you're lame. Huh? How am I lame because I'm looking to God, come on. Come on, black men. All because you're looking to further your education. All because you're looking to move somewhere in life. I'm not saying you have to go to university in order to become successful, but it's been the traditional pathway for a reason, right? Again, just to get a job paying you over 50K, you need some kind of skill. Even if you go to a trade school, you gain a skill. When you go to university, you gain a skill. But again, Keisha, she feels like, oh man, you was going to smash the same big booty Keisha the same way how Glocktavius did and leave her. And she talked about how, oh, you feel like you high and mighty now because he is. Even though you turned him down, right? These same black men, we're not accepting the reach back. Shout out to AC for the terminology, right? Just because you let Glocktavius knock you up and now you're a single pregnant baby mom looking for help. You're desperate. You need someone to help you take care of your bastard. Black men, like I've been talking about the whole video, they go after those men just for reproduction. It's funny how Keisha's want those same tall, thugged out dudes so bad, right? Been giving pussy to those guys for so long, ever since we were 14. You finally get him, you finally get a kid from this dude, and black men, I'm telling you, if you talk to some of these Keishas who are pregnant, right? I'll never forget, I met a Keisha, 6 months pregnant, already talking about how she's co-parenting. The baby is not even born, and you're already co-parenting because now it's time for you to pay. The buck gets to breed and you feed. The buck gets to play while you pay. He gets to fuck while you provide the bucks. He gets to make the baby while you take care of it. We're not playing those games. Why do you think paternity fraud is so high amongst black women or just black people in general? I guess really black women, really. Because again, I made the one video clip about Nigeria. I made it about Jamaica. I made it about Black America. You have these black women who feel like black men who are not of this physical stature, or if not the physical stature, of not this mental behavior. Because guys who, as you can see in that second clip, like I said, they may want those tall dudes, but guess who their baby daddy ends up being? And it's not always going to be a short dude, but I've realized when it is a guy who, by their terms, who is short, because that Keisha is taller than him. She's wearing flats and she's taller than him. So again, whether it's her being taller than him or him being taller than her because she's 4'11 and he's 5'9, you realize the guy is more stereotypical automatically, black man. I've witnessed it with my own eyes, and I know you have too. You have those black dudes, again, excuse me, he might be 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", 5'7", 5'6", 5'5". That's why I said in my one video clip a few videos ago, I've met these black dudes, again, he's shorter than you, uglier than you, right? Have less money, no vehicle to drive, walking on a scooter. He's riding the Lime scooter, the city scooter everywhere, black men, asking for rides everywhere, right? These were the same dudes who were, at the time, right when it was popular, dudes were buying credit cards off the black market, right? Hitting the pieces. Your piece only hit for food. But yet these guys are allowed to procreate. Again, no vehicle, no place to stay, no real income. And Keisha's allowed them to reproduce. God forbid you have an education, black men. Again, like I said, when you strive for greatness, when you strive for more, it shows you how Keisha isn't worried about that. All that does is show her this man would be a better provider. So let me get the baby from somewhere else and I can use this man to provide. Fuck that. Black men, you don't deserve that. And like I said, let me go ahead and wrap it up because I've been talking for about 30 minutes now. For black men under 6 feet, here's my solution to you. First of all, practice semen retention. At least 365 days, a full year. I say go 720, 2 years. I promise you, you will not regret it. I promise you. Listen, at this point, I'll say it, bro. I'm training black men to look at black women and say, no, right? And not based off the attitude, not based off the mindset, based off the skin. When you see, and it might sound fucked up. Listen, it might sound fucked up. She looks just like you. But when you see that skin black man, you have to say no. Because you know, right? You know what mindset is attached to it. You know what it's, you know it. It might sound fucked up, but I'm training black men, right, to not accept Keisha no more. And not just because of the mindset, not because of the behavior, because of the skin tone. And I know it sounds fucked up, black men, but be honest, right? We know when we see that same skin tone, we know what mindset is attached to it. We know when we see the wide nose, the 4C hair, the wigs and the weave, right? 4'11", big booty Keisha, you know what mindset is attached to that ass, right? You know, you black men, you know. Don't deny it. Let's not act like we can't read them. The same way how they think they can read us, black men, the same way how they associate facial structure, facial features with a certain behavior. I told you guys before, Keisha's, Keisha told me, based off a man's lips, she can tell if he's gay. Based off a man's eyes, she can tell if he's gay. Right? Okay. And if you're not gay, she believes she can read you. Right? I want to hear more Keisha's really talk about that. Right? If not gay, maybe she associates you with being a lame. Oh, he don't get no play. Right? He must be socially awkward. You know, all types of negative things that they attach to you because of your face. Black men, do you realize that's pseudoscience? That's the foundation of racism. That's the same crap that white people will say. Based off his skin, he behaves like this. Based off of this, like, come on, yo. But black men, turn the tables, black men. Flip the card over. Flip it from heads to tails. Based off your wig, based off your weave, I know how you think. Based off the fact that you have a bull nose ring, right? A dermal piercing, I know how you think. Based off the fact that you have fake eyelashes and a pound of makeup on your face, I know how you behave. Based off the fact that you have a big booty, I know how you think, and I definitely know how you're going to behave. Based off your skin, whether you're chocolate, whether you're paper bag brown, whether you're a red bone, yellow bone, you look like Jeffy Cake Mix, I know how you think, and I know how you behave. So because you think I'm short and I have a big nose, well, guess what? I can read you the same way, black man. And not you, but you know what I'm talking about. I can read her the same way. Black men, flip the tables. I'm telling you, if you figure out how to get off that plantation mentally and you play the same game that they're playing, you look to eliminate and not to select. Listen, I will be honest. You will, listen, even before the retention, keep it a buck. Most black men, you're going extended period of time without sex and being single. It's not natural, but it's the lesser of two bad options, dude. Because you get with them, you're going to get disrespected. You're going to get cheated on. You're going to get used. Keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. So once you figure out how to eliminate and not select, and again, I said I'm going to wrap it up, but I think about this, right? And just off of these three things, I've been able to eliminate pretty much 90, maybe even 95% of black women. I want you to be slim and attractive. I mean, you can be slim thick, right? That 4'11" G-Wagon booty Keisha, no, black men, I'm telling you, those are the ones you have to leave alone. You have to. You have to, black men. Their minds are so far gone because she gets so much attention. Again, those are the ones who talk about how they're picky and they're choosy, but you manage to rack up a high body count by picking the same 25% of men. Be careful. All I can tell you, brothers, is be careful. All I can do is warn you, but warning comes before destruction. Again, I want you to be slim, thick, or petite. Just off of that, you eliminate a lot of black women, right? Arms can't be bigger than me. You can't be bigger than me. And if you are, okay, you have a very fit body, right? The gym girl. How many black men are dating any of those gym girls for real? And I'm talking about the real gym girl, not the one who does it 1 or 2 times a week because she wants to make Instagram highlights to make it seem like she works out. I'm talking about the one who really lives in the gym, the real gym rat, right? No wigs, no weave, black men. Just off of those 2 things, you've eliminated pretty much 85% of black women. Throw in no tattoos. Again, you guys saw the video clip I made of the Keisha, right? Recently talking about the cocktails, right? How she wanted to go out for dinner instead of cocktails. Look at her appearance, right? Most you black dudes are not dating that kind of Keisha. You're not meeting that kind of Keisha. You're not smashing that kind of Keisha. That's why I said those chicks are rare. Not so rare that you never see them, but rare enough to where you never smash them, you never date them. Because why? Even those same Keishas are making attempts at Glocktavius. It just is what it is. Anyways, man, I'm gonna wrap it up. Black men, practice more attention. Figure out how to eliminate and not select. And again, it will be a forlorn journey. It really will be. You will be alone. Sad? No, but you will be alone. But you don't have to be lonely, black men. Figure out how to become your own best friend. You have solitude and you have loneliness, black men. Find comfort in solitude because that way you'll develop peace. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.